All right, Arkham ZOLA has entered the contest. Let's discuss. Yeah, so Arkham Zola has officially entered the contest, and he comes with disintegrations, which no one's immune to, new pre-fights, sleep mechanic, and physical psychic shielding when he's awakened. And we're going to get into all of that, but first, we got to discuss his combo. What is his combo like? Well, his combo isn't bad. He's not a clunky champion to play at all. He's actually kind of fun. He can be a little bit tricky because of his playstyle. He does have kind of a difficult playstyle, and trust me, we're going to get into that. But overall, no clunky playstyle. His spacing may be a little bit off when you're trying to counter him on defense, and maybe they might transition over into offense. But again, it's not something you can't master with a little bit of training and a little bit of practice. But overall, solid champion, really easy to work with, and I did have a good time. But let's talk about his strengths. What are his strengths? Well, he has these new pre-fight abilities which enable you to special lock the opponent, or you can special lock the opponent. And it does come in handy when trying to get his, preferred play style, but it can be a little bit tricky to master. And it's definitely going to take some time to get an understanding and get it down to where you want it. But yeah, his pre-fights allow you to special lock the opponent. He also has hyper durability. This dude is a tank on defense. He gains indestructible, and he has a lot of health. He's just a tanky champion. And last but not least, he also has disintegrations, and this is a new damaging debuff which currently no one is immune to. No one's immune to it, but it's tricky to maintain and keep up, but we'll get into that. What are his weaknesses? Well, one of his weaknesses are heavy attacks. His heavy attacks allow you to, tone down his sleeping mechanic. And champions like Doom, Silk, and America Chavez can easily counter him really well. Also, True Strike is another one of his weaknesses. If you got a champion that does True Strike or True Damage, they're going to be able to effectively melt this guy. But again, can be a little bit tricky. And also basic attacks and damaging effect. Like whenever Zola throws a special, he puts a cowardice on, and champions who don't rely on their special attacks will do a lot of damage to him. So keep that in mind. What are his immunities? Well, one of his immunities, he's poison immune. So, he's not affected by poison immunes, which isn't a bad thing. And another one of his immunities that I think is also pretty good and people will like this is that he's bleed immune. You don't have to worry about, bleed. So the damage matches can be okay, but he doesn't have a heal mechanic. So, and he's a robot, so he doesn't also have willpower healing. So keep that in mind. His awaken ability, now, in my opinion, his awaken ability was okay. I thought that, he didn't really need it, but if you do have it, he kind of does need high sig. When he's awakened, he becomes immune to psychic shielding. I mean, he activates the psychic shielding. Also, striking a sleeping opponent grants Zola an unblockable passive for 12 seconds. And that's why I say he needs high sig, because if you want to max out all those, that 12 seconds for when he's unblockable. And when Zola special attacks remove his disintegrations, each debuff deals a final burst of 388 direct damage. So if you can get those disintegrates on your opponent, they can do some damage. They can do a lot of damage. But again, his playstyle is a bit tricky to try to get those on. He also has a prestige of 27,260 when at 7-star rank 3 sig 200, but that could change with rank 4 is being introduced in the game, so that prestige could definitely go up, but it's not bad prestige. On defense, I'm gonna say it now, this dude's gonna be he's gonna be annoying on defense. Like if you don't have a good counter for him, he's going to be really, really annoying and tough to deal with. His spacing, that sleep mechanic, as you see here, the spacing can be a bit tricky, but the great thing about it is there are so many champions in the game that already counter him. Like I believe Kate Bishop, as you can see, Hawkling with the Pierce mechanic through block. So yeah, like you just got to worry about the unblockable if he's awakened, and make sure you have an ideal counter. I did find Shartha can work for him, but if you don't have a counter for this guy, he's going to be a nightmare, because you essentially have to knock him down to deal with his sleep mechanic, because I don't believe anyone's immune to it, not even Hercules. So keep that in mind. If the champion is awakened, he's going to be unblockable, and if he's 6-200, he's going to be unblockable for 12 seconds. So you're going to have to dance around that. So as a defender, he's going to be really annoying if you don't have a counter. And the keyword is if you don't have a counter. There are several counters to him, so don't be too scared. But you need a counter, because when this guy becomes more available to everyone in game, it's going to get ugly in Battlegrounds. It's going to be really ugly. I'm already predicting he might eventually become an instant ban, because he's annoying, and the spacing is off when that sleep mechanic is just a nightmare. Stat focus I will recommend for him. On attack, I will put block proficiency, to help, with his blocking, because, who doesn't benefit from that? And that can definitely be beneficial. And as a defender, I will recommend physical and energy resistance, to boost his stats even more and make him even more of a pain to deal with. That's just my recommendation. Leave a comment below if you think another stat focus will be better for him. But I think those are the best ones. The relic I recommend for him is the Green Goblin Melt relic, because it will boost Zola's disintegration debuffs. And that is the real value of this relic, and using the strike to help keep the opponent pinned against the wall. So yeah, the Green Goblin relic is what I recommend. For the Masteries, I'm not going to recommend the damage Masteries, because he doesn't have a way to heal, and you kind of got to throw his specials 1 and special 2 to take advantage of the disintegration. So I don't think he will be good for the damage Masteries, but people out there will probably use him for the damage Masteries, and there's nothing wrong with that. I recommend Collar Tech because of his frequent heavy attacks to build his disintegrations, and that could provide a one way to chain heavies and get the and punish the opponent for push the opponent to use a special attack. So that's what I recommend. But it could be, you could use it for the damage Masteries if you really want to, but it's going to cost you more potions. But what are my overall thoughts of him? Overall, I think he's a solid champion. He does have some pros and cons. The pros, he's a tricky defender, so it's going to be really beneficial at Battlegrounds. He has great utility, especially with that disintegration and that sleep mechanic, so that's going to be really valuable in Battlegrounds. He's fine on Awakened, and I say that with an asterisk because, if he is Awakened, you do want him at high sig. And again, he's tanky on defense, and you need special counters for him. The cons, he's AI dependent, especially trying to get those disintegrations and maintained on the opponent. You kind of have a tricky play style with him. His play style is really difficult to master, and I had a tough time even making the short for him when trying to show you how to play him. He kind of does need high sig if you want to take advantage of those bursts when it comes to those disintegrations and that unblockable. And he's a robot, so he doesn't have any willpower healing. But I will say that I believe he isn't, when it comes to fighting Magneto, I think he actually might counter Magneto because I think he's immune to magnetism, I believe. You might want to double check that. And organic metal. So yeah, keep that in mind. But overall, I think he's a solid champion, and I think he's really, really good. I think he's going to be a really good defender, in my opinion. Offensively, I don't really see him really being that beneficial. Again, that could be my opinion. But like I said earlier, he isn't immune to magnetism, but he isn't bothered by the effects of magnetism or organic metal or even armor shadow. It won't do much to shut him down. So he's still, I think, defensively, he's definitely a defensive built champion. He's definitely built for defense, but offensively, he kind of is AI dependent and have a really difficult play style. But again, if you're looking for a great defender, I definitely will go with him. So overall, I think he's a solid champion. Now, I do like him. I don't know if I will use an awakening gem on him though, but that's my opinion. But leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts on him. But overall, I do like him. So yeah, if you did like this video, please hit that like button. And for anyone new here, if you can hit that sub button, I'll greatly appreciate it. Y'all take care. Have a great and wonderful day.